Hi, my name is Simone and I'm the Zen Mommy. I help people with spiritual awakening and navigating through your ascension. Thank you for joining me today. If you're new to my channel, please press the subscribe button and the bell button will notify you of my next video. And today I want to talk about the dark night of the soul. Someone asked me, could I talk about the dark night of the soul, like what to expect, how to come out of it. And I've done a video on the dark night of the soul. That was earlier in my awakening, and I've learned a lot. So I'm just going to talk about it a little bit because it's something that we all go through. And when we do go through it, it's kind of tough. And if you don't understand what the dark night of the soul is, it's when you go through a time period where you feel cut off from the spirit. And you feel like unconsolably cut off, and it feels rough. It feels like you're alone. You might sink into a depression, or you feel like you're going through like a time, like a rough time, like earlier like at the end of last year, after I left Florida and everything, I was just going through a phase where I was feeling kind of stuck. I feeling like I didn't really know what was going to happen next. I didn't know how to you're like in a funk and you don't know how to get out of it. Well, one of the things I want to explain that I learned about the dark night of the soul is when you're going through something like that, which it can feel really disheartening to feel like you've lost some type of connection to your spirit. But you have to understand it's something like we are constantly like changing and growing and upgrading with the ascension energies. Like there's more and more awakenings happening. The planet's raising the vibration. We're raising our vibration. But while we're going through that process, we are getting spiritual upgrades. We are getting our energy and vibration raised. And so these upgrades, it's gonna be similar to like, have you ever had, on your smartphone, have you ever had it so where you had to get an update on your phone and it was the new update, and while the update is downloading, you can't access your other features on the phone. You can't, it maybe run slower. You maybe just have to just leave it alone, let it download. And then, so that's kind of how your soul is going through. Okay. Your soul is going through a download, like an upgrade, right? You're getting maybe some type of download of raising your consciousness, your energy or whatnot. But while you're going through that, you can't access your features. And your feature might be, I feel the presence of the spirit with me, or my spirit guides, I can hear them clearly. I can connect when I meditate. And you might be going through a phase where I don't feel anything. And for some reason, when you don't feel that, your ego begins to put you in a little bit like of a worry, scary type of depression type mode. And you go through a stuck phase. You feel like things aren't going right. Things aren't changing. You feel stuck in the same place in your life. And those might be two different kind of things, the feeling stuck phase. Because honestly, at the end of last year, when I feel like I was going through that, it didn't really feel like the dark night of the soul so much. But it felt like, but I did feel kind of stuck. I did feel kind of like I didn't know what was next. And I was feeling like I was repeating the same patterns, and I just couldn't get out of it. And a friend recently called me and she was going through the same phase, and I had just got out of that phase. And so I was kind of like, okay, so since I left Florida and I talked about that situation, like I went out there thinking, oh my God, this is meant for me to move. I got a job, I got this. And I manifested all these great things. And when I got there, I manifested them away because of my thoughts. I started having doubts and things. And it didn't go how it planned. And now on top of that, I ended up having a really toxic roommate that really just was like, I'm thinking, I'm beating myself up. Like, I am supposed to be the Zen Mommy. How do I... Sorry about that, all this noise. Hold on. Okay, so I was going through a phase where I was like, I'm supposed to be a Zen mommy. How the heck am I attracting a toxic roommate that is threatening to kill me? And then I went from that situation, and then I moved to moved to South Carolina for a period of time, and the weather, I was miserable. The weather, and I didn't really know anybody, and it was just a culture shock to go from the city, being a city girl, to the country. And I missed my daughter, and I felt like I felt like I couldn't, like I felt like nothing was happening. Like I wasn't making a big change with my channel. I stopped recording as much. And before I left Florida, I was recording a lot. And I'm like, what happened? Did I lose who I am? I really started to worry. And so then I finally got to the point where I have to go back to California. I miss my daughter. I miss knowing where I live. I missed a lot of things. And I thought, going back to California, this is going to change. And I was like, I don't care. I left my job last year to pursue Zen Mommy, to pursue my business. And it just wasn't going that great. And I know a lot of it was me, because I have the fears with like trying to manifest and the fear of success. I'm working on that stuff. And so I decided I don't care if I'm homeless at this point, which I was homeless for a while. When I got to California, me and my son had to stay in a hotel. Then we had to stay with a family member. And then that wasn't the best vibrational match. And I just was feeling stuck. And I'm like, what do I do? Like, do I just take a regular job again? And like, I found myself faced with, I got to go back to work. And because for some reason, I'm not getting this the way I want to. I'm not manifesting my business the way I'm supposed to. And I need money. So I was like, I got to go back to work. And then I started to get depressed thinking about working at a matrix job all day and losing who I am. And I felt really, really stuck. And I got in a comfortable place. I was staying at a relative house with very low rent, so I didn't even have to work. And you would think that it's nice to be home and do whatever you want, but something was still missing. I still, wasn't happy. I was still feeling stuck, but I wasn't trying to make a move. I wasn't just trying to take any job or find any daycare. It just, for some reason, I was just stuck, and I don't mean to like talk a lot into it. And I couldn't figure out how to get from this point to back to where I felt I was before I even left for Florida. And I didn't understand what was going on, but one thing that I did notice is what got me out of that is I took a risk. And that was the thing that I noticed, that like what my issue is, I had to take a risk. And the risk that I took was to move. And I took a risk to move to my own place. I took a risk to move in with my boyfriend, who I just manifested, but the connection, it was so amazing. Like when I realized, we both realized when we manifested, we knew that the universe like handpicked us to be together. We knew that it was meant. We saw visions. I felt like I known them, and so I was okay with that, but it was scary to take that step. And I was like, what if I do this and something's wrong? What if I leave my cheap little room I'm renting? And I had these fears that was scared to take this step. And then I took the step, and a job came to me. I didn't even want to work a job, but a friend called me. They have a position, and her and her husband started this cannabis industry, and came to me. And so I was just like, okay, well, for this job, I thought like I need to move anyway. So I took a risk. I moved back to the Bay Area. I took a risk, and I started this job, and it turned out everything changed. Like, it took a second, but in the moment I realized I was getting everything I wanted. I have this amazing relationship, who's a good, father to my son. And then I got this amazing job where I get to work from home. And I my energy began to change. I began to feel better. And I started to see that if I had stayed in that little box, of that fear, I would have stayed in that feeling right there. But I decided, that's the one thing when my friend came to me, she had the same issues. I was like, the thing that got me is I had to take a risk. Is there something in your life that you're afraid to do? Something in life you have all these excuses not to do. That's kind of what I had, all these excuses not to take another job, not to do this and not to do that, and not to, even with my business, like, it's a risk to take, in the spiritual business that I'm in. I'm dealing with people, I'm dealing with people's souls. And there's a part of me that is afraid, like, I have this coaching request form and I've gotten a lot of requests. And because I was moving so much, I haven't been able to respond to it. But then there's a part of me, like this week, I'm like, I got to go call these people. There's a part of me that is scared. There's a part of me that is afraid to take that step. But what I do know is I took a risk before. What do you have to lose? And I could take this risk and I could connect with some really beautiful people. I can help other people raise their energy. It'll help me raise my energy. And that'll help me with coming out of that stuck feeling or that dark night of the soul even more. Help me get what I desire even more. Now, that's, I guess, mainly the stuck feeling, but let's just say you're going through a dark night and you're feeling like, the one thing is to know that it's kind of like you're going through an upgrade. You don't have, that actually helped me a lot, knowing that I didn't have access to all my features. And then having faith and not giving up on your connection, because you do come out of it. And when you do come in it, but if your vibration is getting low in it, and you feel like you're going into a depression, then this is where you have to come up with a game plan to raise your vibration. So if you're going through a dark night of soul and you're feeling depressed, the first thing you want to do is you want to get yourself in a higher vibration. The best way to do that is have a go-to thing that you can take your mind to. For me, I think about the day my child was born. It's like one of the happiest days of my life. Seeing my child, seeing her eyes, seeing the storm, holding his little body, and that. You think about something like that, then all of a sudden you're happy, you're smiling, right? You might not be, this is for any type of depression thing you're going through. Always have a game plan. Always have a go-to thought to take your mind to. When you get your mind to that, then you want to think about something else. What you want to do is you want to start focusing your energy to some positive thoughts. And when you begin to just think about something positive, you begin to raise your vibration. Then you'll get to a point where you want to just have a lineup of a game plan of the things you do. What else? For me, it's music. Okay, so I'll think about those thoughts. I'll think about my kid. I'll think about my YouTube channel, the things that make me happy, and then I'll put on some reggae music and I'll start dancing. And when I feel the vibration of the music, it raises my vibration so much. And you just have to learn how to transmute your energy when it begins to get low like that. And that's the one thing that I had to learn. I still do it now. A lot of times when I'm dealing with a person doing a reading or something, or they're helping them intuitive counseling, and they tell me something that they went through that was really bad. And literally, when I try to, I literally take on that pain. I'll start crying or I'll feel it, and it will bring me down. And sometimes I allow myself to feel it so I can understand what they're going through. But I have to also learn, what I have to also learn is, okay, I need to raise my vibration back up afterwards, because I will sit here and cry for hours over some pain that really isn't my pain. So I will begin to listen to music. You have to find a way to raise your vibration. That is the main way to kind of help you through it. It's something that we all go through. It doesn't happen a whole lot. And just really try to focus. Just know that this isn't going to last forever. Know that nothing has changed with your connection. And know that even if it's something that you're feeling stuck and you can't get out of, maybe it's a risk that would do it. Maybe it's a conversation that would do it. Maybe it's talking to somebody that you haven't talked to in a long time. Maybe it's reaching out to another spiritual friend, reaching out in a Facebook group with other spiritual people. And, you know, reaching out and developing, you know, relationships with people so that you can be a support. You can help each other. I mean, these are things that I just suggest doing. I mean, I hope this video helped. And thank you for watching. Peace and love. Namaste.